I'm on your body like a tissue. They be calling you Illuminati when I'm with you. I say maybe it's your third eye, I love your mental. BBS is on me, look like now laters lick you up. I bet you never go back to the guy that was with you. She got every pair, Chanel out of Soho. Try back to hit the city to show off. And when you get dressed up, you take hours. Baby girl, you know you can do whatever. You got power. Got me sitting by my phone, I've been waiting for hours. I'm all lost in the mirror, picture of you fresh out the shower. So I might as well swing over to your place. Nah, it's crowded in LA, but I'll be there at 8 if the traffic allows it. Sit you down, I can show you around if you're really about it now. But for you, I got something to prove. What do you say? What do you say? Should we bring it right back? Honestly, it's better like that. I know we've been falling off track. Bring it right back. I just let the time pass. We don't gotta take it too fast. Bring it right back. You don't gotta stay the night. I just wanna take the time. I know all the things you like. Maybe if the mood is right, we can bring it right back. Say, got the weed, we can sit by the beach if you wanna get faded. But if that's not the vibe, yeah, it's cool, we can save it for later, yeah. I just like the way it feels when you're around. When you're around, now I know we're not dating, maybe soon, by the way things go, we've been talking for ages. Take it step by step, slow it down, we just need to be patient, if the love feels good and it's real, it'll all work out. It'll all work out, yeah. Should we bring it right back? Honestly, it's better like that. I know we've been falling on track. Bring it right back. I just let the time pass. We don't gotta take it too fast. Bring it right back. You don't gotta stay the night. I just wanna take the time. I know all the things you like. Maybe if the mood is right, we can bring it right back. So bring it. So bring it back, so bring it, 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 yeah. No, should we bring it right back? Honestly, it's better like that. I know we've been falling off track. Bring it right back. I just let the time pass. We don't gotta take it too fast. Bring it right back. You don't gotta stay the night. I just wanna take the time. I know all the things you like. Maybe if the mood is right, we can bring it right back. Honestly, it's better like that. I know we've been falling off track. Bring it right back. I just let the time pass. We don't gotta take it too fast. Bring it right back. You don't gotta stay the night. I just wanna take the time. I know all the things you like. Maybe if the mood is right, we can bring it right back.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, welcome back to Relax Time Radio.
Yes, welcome back, and hope you enjoyed those two songs, Track to Track, Back to Track.
We are now live streaming on YouTube.
Officially back on the air, and also on the internet.
And on the internet, yeah, we got everything.
So now we know if something happens next time, what we should do.
Turn the modem back on. Yeah.
Okay, yes. What are those songs, Paul?
They were Right Back by Khaled and then Slide by Calvin Harris with Frank Ocean and Migos.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed the songs that you could probably prepare tonight. Quite nice then. Okay, of course, if you'd like to give us a call, request us on 053-276-793.
Yes.
And of course, in around roughly in 10 minutes, we're going to talk more about the creativity.
Okay.
Roughly, yes. For tomorrow, the event in Chiang Mai would be the TED Talk.
All right.
Happening tomorrow at the Northern Science Park. Talking on many subjects. Let me bring this back and then can tell you a brief what is.
I listen to. I have TED Talks on my podcast app, so I listen to TED Talks every single day.
Nice.
Little mini ones. They're great.
Yes. Okay. So for tomorrow, the agenda would be started from 8:55 and then. Talking on, they focus on women's this year.
Where is it this year? Because previous years it's been at the Meridian.
Yes, this year they moved the venues to Northern Science Park at the steps. It's quite a great place to. We have many speakers. Kun Chokwan Kitty, Choppada, and Kun Bunarod Buakli, Kun Jutjared, Silver Somana, Kun Sawang, Kel Kanta, Ajan Suchaya Apple. Taiwanese, and also they have some Kunot, Panat Yongkon performance, and also there are quite numbers of them up until from 8:55 up until 8:30 roughly, and then there will be after party also.
I believe we have a couple of our Relax Time Radio hosts, DJ hosts, going to the event. Are you going yourself?
I like to, but I have to go to. By tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that sounds like fun.
There'll be the event, which is the marathon by tomorrow on Sunday.
Yes.
So just helping that.
I see people. I saw people wearing the T-shirt. Yeah. Right.
They started already.
Well, I saw a T-shirt. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yes. Of course. So quite a lot of things, and they still like to see whether the venue will be affected by the flash flood that happened recently.
Right.
Or not. Yes.
Yeah, the bridges got washed out, yes.
Okay, so let's move to some more music and come back to Creative City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. So this next song is called, is that right? Do Maybe by Rema. This is an African artist, very big in Africa. It's great pop music. I'm trying to bring you some chart music from around the world. So this is one I found. So we'll be right back.
Another banger. Make a pom, make a pom, 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 make a pom, make a deep, body pom, 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 your body kakara, make a pom, 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 on a make it. Kilo fat, I'm a touch of the fine, fine, oh, back at that. Watch your love for like it. Why not more that? Your body, check it. Push it in, yeah, in my day. Kabalo, see, kilo fat. Why now, my lady? Tell me what's in there, body. I'm a damn easy, baby. Why you want to give me control? If you want to get already, I'ma make up my eye. I'ma need your gun, I go my eye. I'ma need your gun, do maybe. I don't want to say yeah, do maybe don't go carry belly. they do fine boy like this, so if I hear say one thing, I go vex. Okini, Okini Nafia, Okini, Okini baby, Okini, Okini Remy, Okiti, plenty money. Okini, Okini Nafia, Okini, Okini baby, Okini, Okini Remy, Okiti, plenty money. Talk market wa, when I'm a dollar. Messi agre oya, kalanga money ijo ya, shade ijo ya, chaka wole patata. I'm a sexy mama, come follow me, come my ijo. I'ma make I admire you, I'ma need a ganye uwe oh. I go admire you, I'ma need a ganye uwe. Do maybe, kalanga ni zeni zama. Do maybe don't go carry belle. Do maybe, like one of me see oh yeah. Come see oh yo, baby oh yo. Make a pom, make a pom pom pom, make a pom, make a keep a keep pom pom pom. Ya pati kakara, make a pom pom pom. Ona make it check get a pom pom. Make a pom, make a pom pom pom, make a pom, make a keep a keep pom pom pom. Ya pati kakara, make a pom pom pom. Ona make it check get a pom pom pom. Check it
You are somebody that I don't know, but you're taking shots at me like it's Patron, and I'm just like, damn. It's 7 a.m. Say it in the street, that's a knockout, but you say it in a tweet, that's a cop out, and I'm just like, hey, are you okay? And I ain't tryna mess with your self-expression, but I've learned a lesson that stressing and obsessing about somebody else is no fun. And snakes and stones never broke my bones, so you need to calm down. You're being too loud, and I'm just like, you need to just stop. Like, can you just not step on my gown? You need to calm down. You are somebody that we don't know, but you're coming at my friends like a missile. Why are you mad when you could be glad? Sunshine on the street at the parade, but you would rather be in the dark age, just making that sign. Must have taken all night. You just need to take several seats and then try to restore the peace and control your urges to scream about all the people you hate. 'Cause shade never made anybody less gay, so you need to calm down. You're being too loud, and I'm just like, you need to just stop. Like, can you just not step on his gown? You need to calm down. And we see you over there on the internet, comparing all the girls who are killing it. But we figured you out, we all know now. We all got crowns, you need to calm down. You need to calm down, you need to calm down. You're being too loud, you're being too loud. And I'm just like, you need to just stop. Can you stop? Like, can you just not step on our gowns? You need to calm down.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hi, welcome back. You are listening to Relax Time Radio, and you're with me, Paul Sugars, and Tom Jarun Road. Your name is like still that always trips me up.
It's not easy.
Jarun
Road, Krasasuk, yes. Okay.
And we'll be here until 9 o'clock.
Yes.
And right now we're just about to get into our topic of the day.
True. The topic of today, we're talking about the creative city. Just in general first, the creative city was... if I'm not mistaken, just by the Australian guy by 1980s, something like that, with the ideas of creating a city for the fairness between the person.
I didn't check it that far back.
Who what they call make the pleasure for the city, and also the person who make the work of the city, like that. So it's been quite a discussions. They said that must be efficient and fair. Creative city must also be one that is committed to fostering creativity among the citizens and provide emotionally satisfying. So which means that just for all walks of life will be there and then enjoy being there.
Right.
Yes.
So as with other sort of United Nations efforts, the sustainable development goals are built into the founding principles of the Creative Cities Network as well. But basically, I have their mission statement in front of it, and the headline of their mission statement is that the Creative Cities Network aims to strengthen cooperation with and among cities that have recognized creativity as a strategic factor of sustainable development as regards economic, social, cultural, and environmental impacts.
So they focus on the sustainabilities on social?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And they're focused on sustainability, but they're looking at creativity as a strategic factor, as a factor to help.
So make the creativity as a tool to make it sustain.
That's right.
Okay.
And so the network covers 7 creative fields: crafts and folk arts, which is Chiang Mai's field; design, film, gastronomy. Phuket is in the network for gastronomy; literature, media arts, and music.
Exactly. Yes. So recently on the last meeting, we also got the mayor of Phuket municipality also here talking about the Phuket as a creative city of gastronomy.
Okay, interesting. Because we did a show on Phuket a few weeks back, didn't we? And we mentioned this. Yeah.
Yes, about the food.
Right.
Okay. So yes, that is the sample of those cities in Thailand. But talking about in the big pictures first for the UNESCO, I know that you also involved for Chiang Mai creative cities too.
Yeah, I was involved in the team early on. I'm not involved anymore, but in the team when they were going through the application, and I sort of went to my first involvement was with the Creative Cities Forum in December. I think in December 2015.
Okay.
And there was a big forum. They invited speakers from other creative cities.
How nice! At the time when we tried to apply for
that's
that.
Right.
Chiang Mai.
It was like 2 years before, because I think Chiang Mai received the designation in 2017. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, recently. So 17, 18, and 19. So it's just only 2 years.
That's right.
So it's quite new. So let's make as introduction why, what is the importance? Why it's so interesting to be creative city, in a sense then.
Right. Definitely the UNESCO. Because I met, there were some speakers at the forum from UNESCO, and what they wanted to do was basically get cities together in a network and get them to learn from each other, share ideas, and so that's one of the. So when you sort of become a member of the network, you have to send delegates to international meetings and this kind of thing, which Chiang Mai does.
Like visiting.
Yeah, that's right. So we visit each other, and that went on before the designation. Like, for example, a team from Chiang Mai, I said, went to Indonesia to look at to visit a creative city there, and other sort of members of the Chiang Mai team went to the forums in Poland and around the world. Different. Each year they have a main event a main sort of forum in a
Because
different
they
city
got
around the
how
world.
many creative city in the world? Like
So
160,
right
180
now-
something?
Right now, I've got it written here somewhere. Right now, there are 116 cities in 54 countries
Mm-hmm.
that have joined the network.
So in you see like only 44 countries around the world and 160 that been granted the status of creative city.
That's right.
But in this creative city itself, they have various categories. Like Kun Paul just shared with us that for Phuket they have gastronomy,
That's right.
they got music, they got the arts and crafts,
That's right.
local art and craft, and also many other categories that are having. So maybe can you find and what are those categories that UNESCO has been put down and granted to other countries around the world?
Yeah. So the categories are crafts and folk art,
Mm-hmm.
design.
Yes.
I think Bangkok is now in the process of applying to the network in the category of design.
Okay.
There's film,
Mm-hmm.
gastronomy, which
Yes.
is Phuket,
Yes.
literature.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there are cities which are in the network for literature.
Mhm.
Include Dublin, a
Mhm.
great history of writers,
Mhm.
and Edinburgh,
Oh, that's
and
nice.
many around the world. That was just an example that was right in front of me. Then another category is media arts.
Okay.
I think Paris is a city near Paris is in the network in media arts. Music. So let me see if I can find an example for music. Bologna in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ghent.
Again also.
Liverpool,
Belgium.
of course,
Okay.
very famous for music, and the Beatles and so many famous bands out of Liverpool. So
Right.
Liverpool is a member of the network
Yes.
in the category of music.
Okay. So
Yeah.
also the other one, which is you just mentioned about the design, which Bangkok like to apply for this. One of the cities not so far from us that been granted this what they call granted this status is Shenzhen.
Shenzhen.
Yes, in China. So we can see that the design is really brought the city into a level that people involved, and also the other one, which is for the arts and design, is in Kobe, in Japan.
Right. Yeah, I've been
Yes.
to Kobe.
Yes. So you can see that how they brought all this together and designs. They even have they organized the events that put the this kind of idea and the roots to from the children at the very young age. They said that Designs Week for the kids
Right.
and Design Week for the young adults, like that. So people will have the sharing the same ideas and then bring something very interesting and good for the city too.
Well, one thing I learned about the network, which is quite good, is that because you can only apply in one category. So,
Yes.
for example, Chiang Mai applied in crafts and folk art.
Uh-huh.
But in the beginning, Chiang Mai had considered applying
As-
in different categories.
Okay.
They'd considered applying in design.
Uh-huh.
I think design was the other thing that they considered.
Right.
So but even though you can only apply in one category,
Mhm.
UNESCO sort of encourages you in the application to mention your other strengths. So
Mhm.
you can involve other
True,
activities
true.
in the city.
I
not
agree with
just-
you
not just
in
in
the
craft and
way
folk
that
art.
people, when they're talking about the particular categories, I'm just thinking like when you you raise the kids. If you they have the kind of research also that let the kids just go in good on every subject that they studies,
Right.
and let one kids maybe good in one thing, and then the other thing will just come and follow. The result is the one who been not pressure, like trying to expect that they will be good on every subject. The performance is lower compared to the one who is good in one part, good one subject, and then the other part will be developed.
That's really interesting. It must be to do with, because I study psychology. That's very interesting. Must be to do with confidence, because once a child starts to do really, really well in something,
Yes.
they get a lot of confidence,
True.
and then they believe in themselves.
Exactly,
and yeah,
exactly.
Probably.
So maybe my idea, I'm just thinking about that and trying to match with this. Once you are great in one category, the other one
Sure.
will become and support you, because you have network
Right.
with that also.
Yeah. I suppose the categories also they have different.
Criteria.
Different criteria, but they raise different issues. So, like
Mhm.
for example, if you're talking about crafts and folk art,
Right.
that's one of the categories where you're looking to tradition
Mhm.
maybe more than for design.
Mhm.
Design and film. Okay, there's some tradition in film, but it's
Right.
not hundreds or thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
But things like literature, crafts and folk art, these are areas of art artistic endeavor, creative endeavor, which are very long, have a long history.
Right.
And when I talked, well, you've met her also, but when I talked with Kun Waralan from the Faculty of Fine Arts,
Associate Professor Waralan Bunyasurat.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, she's mentioned before that many people see the traditional crafts disappearing, but in her way of looking, well, okay, it's true, but it's not. At least we can give it some importance and help to preserve what's left, and also encourage, like you say, encourage people to be creative in different areas.
True.
Link everything together.
Yes.
So
that's what also discussed at the AIN forum, like open discussions among the speakers too. They brought two main cities for the folk arts and also for they're quite well known here in Chiang Mai, which is San Kampang, Bo Sang in San Kampang,
right,
and also Ban Thawai in Hang Dong.
yes.
Because if we look from the perspective of commercial perspective, it's drop because the world economy and so many things from
Right.
that perspective.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's right. I mean, there are many factors there. Like, for example, the strength of the baht. Because I used to do
Also,
an exports years
yes,
ago.
yes.
And when I did the exports,
Uh-huh.
the baht was, for example, 70 to the pound, and now it's about half that.
Ooh,
So
that's hurting.
So that's definitely hurt the exports.
Yes.
But at the same time, one of the things about creative cities is it can help you add value to the products, so you can get a higher price.
What they realize after that is at that time when the thing is quite flourish, they name it as a golden era for them. So what they see is they have to do everything and made it by order.
Right.
No time to create something what they want to do or as the artist should do in the past, which is the creativity.
Yep.
But now they take that as an opportunity to create some profile and also to create something as the way that the artist should be, in a way that, okay, they have the time to come back, sit, and be with themselves and see that whether this is the thing that they like to do or something to create something new. Because as I'm not sure you know this word, Nam Thung, which is like the container that they take the water from the well.
No, I didn't know it.
Okay, this is the northern word.
Okay.
Called Nam Thung. In the past, that function is just to go and take the water from the well.
Yeah.
But now it changed the functions to be a flower pot.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen them. Yes.
So yeah, I'm sure that you've seen that. But you see, the function is changed. That's what you just exactly to what you just mentioned. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely. Actually, maybe we're going to talk about Chiang Mai specifically later. But
yes.
I have I give a lot of credit to Chiang Mai's creative crafts makers
Yes.
About their creativity. Really,
Okay.
because I used to go all around
Then you really
Hang Dong,
see,
Ban Thawai,
yeah.
San Kampang, Bo Sang, and many other
That
places
would be
too.
great to hear your experience and then sharings about that too.
Yeah.
Maybe something that they just put it in, maybe just a little bit, but then they have a lot more potential. I can talk about that. Maybe next time talk about that.
Sure.
But maybe you take a break and come back, talk more about those UNESCO you just mentioned, of those categories that they have set, and maybe some other places else that we can talk about in terms of the Creative City Network itself.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We could look at a few. That's right. Yes. All right. So we'll be back with a little bit more on the UNESCO Creative Cities Network and Chiang Mai's designation in that network. And for now, we're going to get back into the music with a song called "Hold On" by The Internet. The band's called The Internet. That's a good name for a band. Actually, I forgot to tell you what the last two songs were. I forgot. So the first song I played in the last set was "Do Maybe" by Nigerian superstar Rema, and then there was a song we've played before, "You Need to Calm Down" by Taylor Swift.
That's nice.
So we'll be back shortly. If you have any requests, you can send them into our Facebook page, Relax Time Radio, or on our YouTube live stream. That's also Relax Time Radio.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll be back shortly and enjoy the music.
Exactly. We'll come back with you shortly.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hi, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back to Relax Time Radio.
That was a bit of a sleepy song for for a Friday evening. I didn't notice that when I played it to myself earlier. Anyway, that was Hold On, a beautiful song, but a little bit sleepy for a Friday evening. Hold On by the Internet.
Okay. Hope you enjoying that too. Don't sleep yet, get up. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
we're talking about the creative cities and also creative city of UNESCO.
yes.
We mentioned about the categories of those creative cities around the world that are 160
116 cities. Yeah.
Yes,
That's right.
16, right?
Yes.
116, and also in 40 each countries.
54 countries.
54 countries. So Chiang Mai is one of those. We're not going to talk about Chiang Mai yet now. We're talking about that. They have many cities and also many countries like that.
That's
You
right.
said there are networks of this too. Networking on each.
Right. No, that's right. Yeah. All of the cities, have to send, they visit each other during the application process, and then there are, UNESCO encourages representatives from each city to visit other cities, as often as possible, and then each year they have an annual event. Each year the network itself has an annual event, and people from different
From all
from
these
all
countries.
116 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Attend that event, and Chiang Mai has sent people to members of their team to these events around the world as well.
Okay, so I know we talked a little bit about that already, but as you are also involved in this during the time of applications, why Chiang Mai is interested to apply for these creative cities then? What it will be simply the question is what is the benefits for that?
The benefit. Well, I actually agree. I mean, Ajahn Waralan from Chiang Mai University of Fine Arts Department. I agree with her. That's what I thought. I was rereading her interview with Chiang Mai City Life.
Yes.
And in there, she said that many people, said, perhaps criticized, well, what many of Chiang Mai's traditional crafts and folk arts have disappeared or almost disappeared in this kind of thing. And she said, which I agree with, that might be true, but and even if we can't revive them as they are, we can preserve what's left, and we can also encourage new creativity,
and create some things on top of that.
Right.
Yes.
And I agree with that. So that you can, give and you can give status to it. There are still crafts masters left.
Right.
And if we don't value them now as master craftspeople,
Yes.
then that now is the time to do it, and we can help to give them what's the word that we can help to give them visibility in the world.
Right. So back to the concept of UNESCO again, that because UNESCO working on many fields, right?
Right.
But one of those fields that we are talking about today is for the culture matters here, and for this is actually talking about the word that you just mentioned a while ago. Is sustainability.
That's right. Sustainability. Yes.
So this also like what Ajahn Waralan just said. That's even though it's bring back, maybe it's not fully back as its own function 100 years ago.
Right.
But it come back to preserve on what it has to be existed.
Yeah. Well, for example, so in the weaving and many traditional crafts. This I remember this from the forums that for example, if traditional crafts relied on cutting trees and this kind of thing, then part of the effort of the Creative Cities Network is, well, can we look at using different materials, sustainable materials, to and use the same skills, the traditional skills, but do it in a more sustainable way, and so bring modern approaches, modern thinking into the traditional craft skills. For example, in the case of crafts and folk art, and how can, for example, there's another part of it as well, which is like the intellectual part. In other words, how can looking at the value of your traditional wisdom, for example, that's one of the things that is really important, and Chiang Mai talked about that a lot in the application. Traditional folk wisdom. If it disappears, then we lose our roots. We lose our sense of roots.
Yes.
And those traditional folk wisdoms, traditional knowledge can be a force for sustainability.
Right.
That's one of the things that UNESCO can look at. That's just
really
one example. There are many examples. For example, if you were talking about in the area of design, Chiang Mai is in crafts and folk art, but if you're talking about the area of design, then obviously the sustainability. My hometown actually, my nearest hometown, York, is actually a member of the Creative Cities Network as well, and in the area of design.
Okay.
But of course, in Chiang Mai, that was relevant as well, because the TCDC, Thailand Design, they were a big supporter and contributor to the application as well.
True, yes.
And they're like high tech, but they're also a library and a repository of knowledge and this kind of thing. So it's a combined effort to bring the traditional and the new thinking and creativity into.
When you talk about the TCDC, I just like to encourage all Chiang Mai people just go there. Just like to at least to grab some new ideas. They have the rotate exhibitions also downstairs, and also with the membership library for membership, because they able to buy an expensive text and on those books that which is for design, that you can just go and then take a look and then get some ideas, learn ideas from that too.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you were to try and buy the books that they have in many of these design books are very expensive.
Very expensive. Yes. Yeah. So that's got a good chance. You just pay only a few $100 a year, but then you can get a chance to go into the TCDCs in many centers around Thailand, like in Bangkok and in Chiang Mai.
That's right.
Also, yes. Okay. So apart from that, I got the answer that one thing that we will gain from being the creative city is to brought back some not only brought back but also to preserve and to continue.
Yeah, continue and develop and bring new ideas in
Yes.
and combine it with traditional knowledge and all
Yes.
of these different things. That's right. Yes.
Make it blended together.
Yeah.
Very
And,
well
and
in
of course,
society,
of
yes.
course, in Thailand, that's something that the royal family has done. Like, for example, Queen Sirikit was very instrumental in preserving the silk industry in the
True.
country.
True.
So this is and it's not only something that is relevant to the Creative Cities Network. It's something that countries and cities
Yes.
do anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually something that is right to the point as what we mentioned a while ago by the Australian thinker, in the way that the person who create the value of this kind of art and craft also should be recognized in the way that they are also the creator on these somethings too.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll talk about Chiang Mai in its particular case later, but maybe we can just
Maybe
mention
talk
a
about
few
York,
a
yes.
few examples of cities.
Yes.
No, I just wanted to mention as an example.
Okay.
It's York is an example of a city. It's my hometown, but yeah, they're in the network as a center of design. It's an ancient city, but there you go. They chose to go for design. Actually, they have a very large science university, so they have a strong science park, and so that's perhaps why York chose to go for that particular designation. But there are, for example, I've got some other examples of cities. Cairo is in the Creative Cities Network as in the same category as Chiang Mai, crafts and folk art. Istanbul is in there in design. You mentioned Kobe. Kobe is
Yes.
in the network in the area of design. Here's one that won't be surprising. Kingston in Jamaica is in the network as in the category of music.
Right.
All the reggae is so influential in the world of music. Not Bob Marley, and they have incredible a small island, but incredibly huge and worldwide influence in music.
Something just to bring out something very best. But obviously, they maybe city maybe not good in one part, but they bring something up also. So
Right.
that people see that.
Yeah, that's right. Rome is a example of a city in the category of film. Yeah, think about the Italian film industry and its influence. There you go, Rome. Rome is one of the most influential cities for film. Those are just a few examples, as we can't go through all 116. But as we said, different.
I really wonder, in the way, I mean, you can answer me later on after the break, and I said, what would be the categories when we apply for example, like you said, for Chiang Mai, want to apply for one category, and then later on, in the end, they just end up with the other categories. So, do you know what is the considerations process involved in this, or will be the criteria?
Actually, it's quite a long process. The government has to be a sponsor of the city. So, in other words, the national government. This is the case all around the world. So
Right.
the Thai government had to approve Chiang Mai's application, and this is normally how it works, I think, around the world. So there's a conversation, a dialogue between the city and people in the city about which is the best category to apply in. But in the end, it's recognized that some cities are strong in many categories.
Yes.
And especially large cities, and therefore the Creative Cities Network allows you to promote more than just the crafts, more than just the creativity area in the one category. You can
Expand it all,
you can expand and talk about and use the Creative Cities Network to promote your city in more than just one area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And Chiang Mai does that. I think, for example, Chiang Mai in its application talks about design, modern design as well, and talks about music, for example, folk music and this kind of thing. So yeah, you can definitely, you're not just limited to what's
one category
small category. Even though you're only in one category, strictly speaking,
Yes. You see, remember what I talk about the kids,
like crossover.
Study on many subjects and
Right.
then trying to be good on all subjects, but then and one subject, and then they can be good in many subjects also.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe take a break and then come back. I think it's 32.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one more break and talking about in general things what it is.
Okay. All right. So thanks for listening to us talk about the Creative Cities Network, and we'll perhaps have a little bit more on that. We've talked for quite a while, but a little bit more on that in a moment. for now, back into the music, and this is a song called "Dance to This" by Ariana Grande and Troye Sivan. I might be pronouncing Troye Sivan wrong, but there you go. If you have a request or a question for us, please do call in 053-276-793
Yes.
or send a message to our Facebook
You
page.
and me, Tom, and Kun Paul.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back soon.
Young ambition, say we'll go slow, but we never do. Premonition, see me spending every night with you. Oh, you're under the kitchen lights, you still look like dynamite, and I wanna end up on you. Oh, don't need a place to go, just put on the radio. You know what I wanna do. We can just dance to this. Don't take much to start me. We can just dance to this. Push up on my body. And you know we already seen all of the parties. We can just dance to this. We can just dance to this. Dance to this. Don't take much to stop me. We can just dance to this. Push up on my body. You know we already seen all of the parties. We can just dance to this. We can just dance to this. Push up on my body. You know we already seen all of the parties. We can just dance to this. We can just dance to this. Don't take much to stop me. We can just dance to this. Push up on my body. You know we already seen all of the parties. We can just dance to this. We can just dance to this.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Welcome back.
Yes.
That was You Can Just Dance to This.
Okay. Oh, you have a great Friday evening, and if you listen from overseas, I hope you enjoy your time with us here on Relax Time Radio.
Yes. Thanks so much for tuning in. Relax Time Radio is on the air every night of the week from 7:30 until 9 p.m.
Yes.
Thailand
Thailand
time.
time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's summary a bit about the creative cities. Then we can move about this creative city for Chiang Mai Creative City.
Yeah.
For next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Yes.
It's quite difficult to talk about, isn't it? Because it's quite complicated. There's a lot involved in it. I mean, I helped write the application, and I'm still confused by it. I think maybe it does, actually, even though it's just reading out sort of the objectives, but it does help to hear, like, for example, so just some of the things we were talking about is in the, UNESCO Creative Cities Network mission statement. For example, to encourage cooperation between cities.
Okay.
That have recognized creativity, to stimulate and enhance initiatives led by member cities, to make creativity an essential component of urban development,
right,
through partnerships involving public and private sectors and civil society. Then, for example, just to give you another one, that to develop hubs of creativity and innovation and broaden opportunities for creators and professionals in the cultural sector. So those are some of the objectives in the UNESCO mission statement.
Right.
And Chiang Mai has done many of these things. The cities are encouraged to develop their own relationships with partner cities, their own networks.
That's true. What we can
and
see
Chiang Mai
is
has
just
done
like really a life things that you can see the milestones of those, and before we becoming or been granted with this kind of status of creative city for the art and
crafts and
craft and
folk
folk
arts.
arts, yes.
Yeah.
That have been controlled hard. I'm sure you know about it. And this is I'm just passing it on to next week, that we go through a lot, and then this is what we see, and then the UNESCO, they have also come inspect to Chiang Mai too also.
Right, yes. Representatives from UNESCO have been to Chiang Mai, yeah.
Okay, so those we have to go through, and then now we got the status, how to continue this kind of status, whether it can be removed or not.
I'm not I mean, in theory, theory it could be. There are certain obligations. When you apply to the network, you sign up to obligations that you have to develop these networks and have a budget, and you have to partner with cities around the world. You can't just get your logo and sit back and do nothing. No, absolutely not.
What would be involvement that you have to be in, and as the people who are just like, okay, I'm just Mr. Tom, Dick and Harry, just outside of Chiang Mai, or you're living in Chiang Mai. Would you involve in this or not? Would we take any parts in this or not?
You can, that's right. You can follow the events. You can follow the news. You can go to events around the city. There's a website now, which is quite a nice website. I checked a while back. I think the website has been updated because it looks there's quite a lot more information on it now than there used to be.
So those information will be provided to you next week.
Yes.
Please come and join us here again, and then we talk more about the creative city. Because one word that just mentioned that when we already been granted as the Chiang Mai Creative City, on this for the what do you call craft
and folk art.
Craft and folk arts. Yes. Would you like to have this in continue or not? And then we've been working very hard on this. And what would be benefiting to you and also benefiting to the society of Chiang Mai as a whole? So we'll come back to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's a big part of the Chiang Mai economy, and it's one of the big draws for tourism here. For example, I used to work in tourism as well, and many people love to go and see those craft making areas, Sankampeng, Bosang, Bantuai, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that next week.
Yes.
So for the rest of the evening, we're just going to play you some music.
Yes, and then come back. I have a bit of a cast for you also.
Yeah, okay, sure. All right, so this is a slightly older song, massive global hit.
Yeah, why not?
It's called The Weekend, so it's the right good time to play it. Can't Feel My Face. We'll be back shortly.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we'll both be beautiful and stay forever young. This I know, this I know. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it. And I know she'll be the death of me. At least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me. The worst is yet to come. All the misery was necessary when we're deep in love. Yes, I know, girl, I know. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it, but I love it, but I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it, but I love it, but I love it. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you. I can feel my face, but I love it, but I love it, but I love it, oh I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. I can feel my face, but I love it, but I love it, but I love it, but I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it, but I love it, but I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. I can feel my face, but I love it, when I'm with you, baby. But I love it, when I'm with you, baby.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, you're still here on Relax Time Radio with me, Paul Sugars, and Tom
Exactly.
Jalun Road, Krasaya Suk.
That's excellent. Okay, let's hear about the weather forecast. How about that? From 5 p.m. today to 5 p.m. tomorrow for northern part, they said cloudy with scattered thunder showers, mostly in Mae Hong Son, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Lamphun, Lampang, Nan, Uttaradit, Phitsanulok, Phetchabun, and Tak. Cover pretty much so. Minimum temperature 23 to 25 degrees Celsius and maximum temperature 33 to 35 degrees Celsius. And they said also that will be variable winds 10 to 20 km per hour. And 7 days weather forecast from September the 6th up until September the 12th. Scattered thunder showers throughout the period. Isolated heavy rain, especially during 9 to 12 of September. Minimum temperature 22 to 26 degrees Celsius and maximum temperature 31 to 35 degrees Celsius. And looking forward for the next 4 weeks, the rain precipitation coverage will be in still the same 40 to 60%, and the minimum temperature is 32 to 34, and the average minimum temperature 24 to 26, which is not bad at all.
No,
No.
not so bad.
Okay, that's it for the weather forecast for this evening.
Yes. So that's about it for our show as well, I think. We've got 10 minutes left. We're just going to play
Roughly,
some
yes.
music, I think.
Sure.
Are we going to say goodbye at this point? I'll come back.
We will come back and say goodnight. then.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
We'll be back to say goodnight. Right now, what we've got for you is Mark Ronson with Late Night Feelings. All right, so I hope this gets you in that weekend mood and not too sleepy.
I weigh the water, I feel it all. I ask myself a million questions in the dark. I lay in silence, but silence talks. It tells me heaven is no closer than it was. My heart keeps pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. Trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixing all mixed up inside. When I get to call ya, and I'm gonna call ya. When late night feelings. When I get to call ya, and I'm gonna call ya. When late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on. On and on, on and on. Late night feelings. Make me psychotic, you pull away. You take the same in me and tear it like a page. Write you erotic, and I know you ain't. Before you answer, just to make me go insane. My heart keeps pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. I'm trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixing all mixed up inside. When I get to call ya, and I'm gonna call ya. When late night feelings. When I get to call ya, and I'm gonna call ya. When late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on. On and on, on and on. Late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on. On and on, on and on. Late night feelings. Keys pulling in the wrong direction. I'm about to cross that line, looking for the wrong affection night after night. Trying to find a new distraction, wanna make it last all night. Everything that I've been mixing, all mixed up inside. When I get to call ya, and I wanna call ya. With late night feelings. When I get to call ya, and I wanna call ya. With late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on. On and on, on and on. Late night feelings. On and on and on, feel it on and on. On and on, on and on. Late night feelings.
Whatever goes around eventually comes back to you. So you gotta be careful, baby, and look both ways before you cross my mind.
Did you ever wonder? Yeah, do you ever wonder what he might be going through on his own and the demons that he's facing alone? I hate that sometimes I can't go home and it just ain't the same on the phone, no. But everybody's gotta go on, don't they?
Yes, we do.
come out. But we've been struggling endlessly. Someday we'll find the love. 'Cause after the storms, when the flowers bloom.
Cali, what you mean? I take it offensive, 'cause I'm the hottest flower boy that popped up on the scene. Feeling better, better than ever, 'cause your umbrella. Sun is beaming on me like headlights beaming on Bambit. Now let's pretend the street is a room and you are a Camry, 'cause you draw me candy, the Tito to my Randy. Now let's produce some thrillers, my chocolate with your vanilla,
The sun will come out. Nothing good ever comes easy. I know times are rough, but winners don't quit, so don't you give up. The sun will come out. But we've been struggling endlessly. Someday we'll find the love. 'Cause after the storm, I know it's hard, but did you even really try? Maybe you could understand. And all you had to do was ask, and just open your mind. When everything is passing by, and all you had to do was try. Yeah, all you had to do was try. All you had to do was try.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hi, welcome back one more time.
Yes, it's the last bit of the shows already. So the time now is 57. So I'll make it very short and quick. It look a surprise that exactly.
Yes.
Here's just yours.
I was just checking that those clocks were right, because they're not always right. But yeah, 57.
Okay. Yes. So we'll come back next week about the Chiang Mai Creative City. I've talked about the Creative City today already, and they will come back again.
Yes.
More about that.
You're here tomorrow, is that right?
I will not be here tomorrow,
Not
but
here.
Kun Jacqueline will be here.
Jacqueline's
I'll be
tomorrow.
her first time solo the show.
Oh, well done,
Ooh.
Jacqueline. Nice one.
Okay.
I'll be back on Sunday.
Yes.
Have a good weekend.
Yes. have a
And
good weekend.
see you soon.
Yes.
What am I trying to play now? What am I trying to do now? I'm going to
So-
play a bit of a song. Yeah,
Right,
I have a
right.
song. It's called I Warn Myself by Charlie Puth. Okay, here we go.
I warn myself that I shouldn't play with fire, but I can tell that I'll do it one more time. Don't trust in myself, no good for my health. You mess with my heart, now you're the reason why. Do you remember when you told me I don't have to worry? He's overseas out on his tour, he'll be okay without me. You said you had nothing to hide, that you left him long ago. I should've known that was a lie. I warn myself that I shouldn't play with fire, but I can tell that I'll do it one more time. Don't trust in myself, no good for my health. You mess with my heart, now you're the reason why. I warn myself that I shouldn't play with fire. I can tell that I'll do it one more time. Don't trust in myself, no good for my health. You mess with my heart, now you're the reason.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
ถานีวิทยุกระจายเสียงแห่งประเทศไทยและเครือข่ายทั่วประเทศเสนอข่าวต้นชั่วโมง